Don't forget to sign up for your free trial of Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus lets you binge on thousands of hit shows, anytime, anywhere, on your TV, PC, smartphone, or tablet. Support this podcast and get an extended free trial of Hulu Plus when you go to huluplus.com/John. That's huluplus.com/JON. Or click the Hulu Plus banner on John Lovitz Vodcast Network.com. Hello, I'm John Lovitz, and welcome to Lovitz or Leavitz with my special guest today, Heather McDonald, who is an actress, stand-up comedian. She's a writer on Chelsea Handler's show. She's also an actress on Chelsea Handler's show. What is it, Chelsea?
After Lately.
After the other show, After Lately. But what's her other show called?
Chelsea Lately.
Oh, Chelsea Lately. So After Lately is after Chelsea Lately?
After Lately is a show we've done 3 seasons of, which is like a scripted reality show. It's kind of shot like Curb Your Enthusiasm, but with confessionals. And it's all of us playing ourselves, and we kind of take true stories that have happened, being writers on the show, and put together a
Well, and you're a writer.
stories.
As you can see, I'm holding a copy of your
Yes.
book called My Inappropriate Life, which is on the New York Times bestseller list. Why did you call it that? What is inappropriate about your life? Everything?
Wasn't really aware of it until my kids go to Catholic school. They go to the same Catholic school I went to, and I really like the school, and the people are nice. But
Oh, I thought you were Jewish.
no, McDonald.
Well, it could have been McDonald Steen.
You know what? When I
McDonald
first
Bird.
started doing stand-up, I felt like if my name was McDonald Steen, I would have had better success. Because I did feel like the Jews were getting a lot. I'm just saying.
No. The only anti-Semitism I've experienced, very little in my life, but the most I've experienced was in show business from other Jews.
Oh.
So that was not a. That's
Yes,
a
so
plus.
anyway, I had a dinner party once, and one of the women that I invited, we kind of liked the husband and didn't like the wife. That sometimes happens, with
Yeah.
couples and families, or like the kids like each other, but the parents are dorky, and then you're like, I really don't want them coming over on a Saturday. So she came, so we were watching After Lately because my kids and my husband made like a little cameo, and my husband wanted everyone to come over. So we're drinking. We like to drink, and
And the husband and wife came over?
the husband, wife, a couple other people, and the wife just kept saying how inappropriate the show was. My son had called her daughter,
The Chelsea
lame or
Lately
something.
show?
No, After Lately.
Oh.
And
Sorry.
so she kept saying, this is so inappropriate, this is so inappropriate. And then at the end of the night, I had just come from doing Comedy Works in Denver the whole weekend. So I'd had done 6 shows, and I was really tired. And it was the day before my period. I'd had 3 glasses of wine. And as a working mother, you just get a lot of guilt sometimes. And I just started to cry in front of everybody.
Oh, because you were very emotional.
I was very emotional.
Plus
and I'm
with the wine.
the wine,
and
the
your
period,
hormones,
the stand-up. And I was like, well,
The
I'm
bloating.
sorry.
The bloating.
Exactly. And I said, well, I am
Pressure.
sorry that the show that puts food in my children's mouths, I got a little dramatic, is so inappropriate, and it ruins your parenting plan. We said in the invite, this is what we were watching, Your kids, I didn't think would be watching. I thought they'd be playing violent video games with my children in the other room. I didn't think they'd be walking
Oh, this was a
watching it.
screening of watching.
Just an episode of our show, yeah. And so anyway,
I misunderstood you. So you're saying the whole time After Lately,
it's airing
you're
on
all
TV.
sitting there
We're kind of
watching
it. Yeah, but the kids weren't really supposed to be watching it. But this one woman's child just kept walking in, and she goes,
she kept saying the show's inappropriate.
Yeah, so inappropriate.
But she knew she was coming over to watch it, right?
Right. And so then I just was like, the story was just so amazing. And then later on,
The show was amazing?
no, the whole experience, the party was so amazing. And then later on, I got over it the next day. I was like, all right, whatever. And then she put on my Facebook page, hey, thanks for last night. Being a mother can be so hard, and obviously you're really struggling with it, and I will continue to pray for you. And then I was like, okay.
What a
And then I
bitch.
realized that I had a book, because I thought I can write about all the times that I feel inappropriate sometimes because of the show I'm on, which is, edgy, and I go to Catholic school, and I'm not your typical mother, and I say what I think, and so all the stories are kind of that. I'm not so inappropriate. I'm not, shooting porn at my house, but
You're not?
For the typical mother, I'm not your typical mother. I know, even though we live in the valley, I'm not.
That's too
But
bad.
if times get tough, we do have a nice pool.
Well, I think, though, what was really happening is the woman was jealous.
Totally. I hate to say
Because there you
I
are,
hate to sound like
you're
my
all
mother.
watching TV, and instead of going, oh, this is funny, you're watching it or whatever, she's like, keeps bringing the attention on herself. No, it's
Exactly.
pretty obvious. Well, we have some things in common. I actually have never met you, I don't think, but, well, besides comedy and stand-ups, but you grew up in Los Angeles in the Valley.
Yes, Woodland
And
Hills.
so did I. Woodland Hills?
Yes.
Oh, I grew up in Encino and Tarzana.
Nice. South
My
of-
dad was a doctor.
South of the boulevard, I
Yes.
assume. Me too.
I wonder if my father was your parents' doctor.
I don't know. Maybe. They see a lot of doctors. That's their favorite thing to do right now that they're
Well,
old.
Dr. Lovitz?
I'll ask him when I see him tomorrow.
Did you ever go to, where were you born?
St. Joseph's Hospital in Burbank. And
St. Joseph's?
then- Yes. We had to go to a Catholic hospital. They're kind of Catholic. They're pretty Catholic. And we went to St. Mal and Louisville. Louisville is the all-girl Catholic high school. In
Oh, you went to Louisville?
Yes.
I went to Harvard High School.
I know. That's
You do?
expensive. Yes, I know everything.
Oh, really? What color shirt am I wearing?
Blue.
She's good.
Yeah, I actually live on the same street I grew up on. I bought the house next door to my parents.
You did?
Yes. It wasn't really.
You're still living in the same neighborhood?
Yes. Well, no, I graduated from high school.
Same neighborhood, you're
I
next
went
door.
to USC. I lived in Brentwood, Santa Monica. I married my husband. We first owned a place in Sherman Oaks, and we owned a different
Wait a minute,
house.
wait a minute. You married your husband.
Got married.
All right.
Got married, and then eventually.
So he was already your husband and then you married him? You
Yeah.
said you married your husband.
You're right. That's true.
Yes.
So then
Yeah.
we were just looking for a house in the area. We already lived in Woodland Hills, but we wanted to move and get like a nicer house that we could fix up and add on to. And this one happened to be available, and it happened to be next door to my parents. And it didn't have a pool, which was nice because my parents had this great pool, and our kids were little at the time, so we just opened the gate and we would just use their pool.
So your life is like a real life Everybody Loves Raymond?
Basically, except my parents are like the opposite. Like they never call, they never come over. They really don't care. Like I'll call them to say, "Hey,
Well,
watch
they don't
the show."
care or they don't wanna bother you.
They
Maybe they respect
really
your
don't
privacy.
Bother. They really, really, almost to the
Yeah.
point of like, if I didn't call them, it could be months until I hear from them again. But they actually just moved, so they just moved. But they were there for the first 5 years.
They
we
moved
were there.
away?
Yeah. No,
So-
they're still in Woodland Hills. They're just in like a smaller place.
Are you going to move next door to them?
No,
Just
no,
above
because
it.
now they're older, so that we like the.
But now you
babysitting
don't have the
years are
pool.
Over. We built our own pool. The minute they got an offer, we
Oh.
called a pool contractor and built our own pool. And I love my pool so much; it's my happiest place on earth. We got an automatic pool cover. We built it so we could have an automatic pool cover, and it gets warm. We never have to turn on the heater. You have babies
The
over. you
Valley,
cover.
I don't know, those of you listening, the
It's
San
so
Fernando
interesting.
Valley, Los Angeles is a desert. So and the water was imported from the Ojai Valley, which killed all the farming up there, which is why the movie Chinatown's about that. But Los Angeles is a desert, so in the valley, like in the summer now, it gets so hot, it gets in the hundreds. And I used to be like 13 and playing baseball with Lisa Kudrow's brother, David, is my best friend I grew up with. And then I'd be pitching the baseball, and I go, everything's yellow. And he'd go, keep pitching. It'd be like 108, and I threw the ball, and I just fainted on the mound.
Oh my God!
You
My
have to
kids
have
do
a pool in the
baseball.
valley. I
It's
mean,
so
if you
hot.
can, it's crazy hot.
You have to have air conditioning. You have to have a pool.
How old are your children?
13, 10, and 7.
And do you, well, this is kind of an awkward
Oh,
question.
just ask.
Well, your book's called Inappropriate.
Just ask.
Why do you love the 13-year-old, but the other two you just kind of like?
Well, the 13-year-old's actually.
No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
I do have favorites at times for sure, and I say that like right now. Well, my 10-year-old used to be my least favorite, but he is maturing now. 10 is kind of a good age. 8 and 9 is a really annoying age. 10 is getting better. 13 is my stepdaughter, and last year it was awful, but now she's getting better. And the little one's my favorite because he's probably the best looking. He's the most like me.
Shallow.
And he's really cute.
But that's a comedian.
And he likes to do little voices. Speaks in an English accent.
Wait a minute. So now, did you and your husband have? You're both. So your husband was married before.
No, he had a one-night stand that resulted in a baby. And then years later, about 2 years ago, the
how old
mom
were you when you
decided that
became
she would live with us. So.
Oh, I see.
Oh, my story is so good. It's a Lifetime movie.
But you've known the 13-year-old since she's how old?
Since she was born.
Since she's born?
I went to the hospital. He impregnated this woman the weekend before he met me. And then 9 months later, we found out he was a father.
Oh, my God. Oh, you're kidding.
No, I'm not. And then I didn't know what to do. And then I
was watching Maury Povich. Did you go on there? And he goes, you are the father.
We did a test. And then that was that. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, and he said, if you want to break up with me, I get it, but I'm going to be in this child's life. I'm going to pay the child support. I'm going to deal with it. And the mom was very, very, very difficult, very difficult. And so it wasn't like she was happy to know that, like, I was there to help on weekends. Like, she hated me. So it was really hard, but...
Did you ever have, like, a wrestling match with her?
No.
Did you ever
Very
get in a fist fight with her?
No, but we did have to do it.
Did you ever have a fist fight with her and then you kind of stopped and looked at each other and started kissing?
No, but she's attractive.
So you thought
we had one of those lovely situations where we would like do exchanges at the police department, give the kid to the mother, so that no one
Why
would
at the
say,
police department?
Because she was saying
you had
things,
to, you mean you had to go to the police department to trade off the kids?
So that you wouldn't be accused of like throwing something at her or something. Like that was like
it was that bad?
Yes.
You had to go to the
It was that bad.
What you're talking about?
And then years later, when she's 12, the mother was like, I think she should live with you full time. And I was like, great, because I want to, get her in the right track. But it was hard the first year.
Well, I haven't heard anything inappropriate yet.
No, obviously I'm a saint.
Well, when we come back with Heather McDonald, maybe we'll hear something inappropriate like her book's called. I'm John Lovitz, and you're watching Lovitz or Leavitz on the John Lovitz Vodcast Network. We'll be right back. I'm sure you've tried Hulu.com, but I want to tell you about Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus lets you watch thousands of hit shows anytime, anywhere. You can stream it on your TV or on the go with your smartphone or tablet. Why stand in line or ride a train and just stare at your feet? You could be watching your favorite shows on Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus, it is a great way to binge watch your favorite shows. Hulu Plus has tons of episodes from great comedies like SNL, Community, Modern Family, South Park, Family Guy, and thousands of other shows. Hulu Plus is only $7.99 a month. That's $7.99 a month for all the shows and movies you can watch. Catch up on current shows, binge on an old favorite, or catch a great movie. You can do it all on Hulu Plus. And right now, you can try Hulu Plus for a couple of weeks free on me when you go to huluplus.com/John. Please make sure you use Hulu Plus/John, that's Jon. So you get an extended free trial, and so they know that we sent you. It helps us keep the lights on, and it gives you a better deal. Go to huluplus.com/John now, or click the Hulu Plus banner on John Lovitz Vodcast Network.com. Hi, John Lovitz here. It's time to put laughter back into your life. Check out the John Lovitz Comedy Club, located in the heart of Universal Studios City Walk, Los Angeles, not Orlando. For tickets, go to thejohnlovitzcomedyclub.com. Don't forget to go to LegalZoom.com today and get 15% off your last will through the end of August. Or get a living trust, and you'll receive a pour-over will absolutely free. LegalZoom is not a law firm, but its step-by-step process was created by a team of top attorneys and experts in technology to provide self-help services at your specific direction. Get an extra discount when you type LOVITZ. That's Lovitz in the referral box at checkout. LegalZoom.com. Hello. Well, we're back with Heather McDonald from Chelsea Lately and After Lately on Lovitz or Leavitz on the John Lovitz Vodcast Network. And I wanted to talk to you, Heather, about something else we had in common, which was you were in the Groundlings. When did you start going, which is a great theater improv company in Los Angeles, like Second City, and I was there, took classes from like 1982, and then I got into the Sunday Company, which you were in, and I got in the main company, and then I got Saturday Night Live. But what years were you there?
I was there probably from like 94, 95 to about 98. And I took all the classes, and I did Sunday show for 2 years. It was one of those times where there were so many people, there were no spots in the main company, so they kept like renewing me in the Sunday Company. And for those who don't know, it's unlike, I always thought this was weird about the Groundlings.
Well, it's like the Sunday Company is like their B company.
Well, it's like, and the main company members, there's 30, and there can only be 30, and they vote on who they want to come in. And then, so the person that leaves the Sunday Company, usually they only leave when they get a series, because it means they can never perform in that 99-person theater. But when you're doing it, it seems like the biggest thing in the world, so you don't want to let go of it.
It's one of the most fun things I ever did in my life.
It's the best.
It's great.
It's like graduate school for comedy, and you're with. And when I was there, everybody was a college graduate. Everyone was really cool and fun and smart. And some people were like advertising executives doing this on the side. Like there was like a different mix of people. It wasn't all just, shallow actor people. So it was. I really really liked it. But so then I did not. So then then finally there was only one spot left, and they had to kick 8 of us out because they only had one spot in the. So
in the main company?
I never made the main company. No.
One spot in the main company?
Yeah. And
when I did the show, when I got Saturday Night Live, I was the second person to get that show.
Right.
After Lorraine Newman, who'd been in the original cast.
Right.
In '75, and then I got it, and they doubled their prices. They added another level, and I was like mad at them because I just thought, people they didn't have any money, and it was like $300-something. Then they doubled to $600 at a level. It just I don't know.
To take all the classes.
Yeah, and then I came back in December, and this girl in the box goes, "You have to for the show, the Christmas show." She says, "You have to buy a ticket." I go, "I'm in the company. I just got Saturday Night Live. I just give the theater. They got a ton of press because I got the show." I go, "Come on." No, I go, there was a guy in there, I won't say who, but he did not want me in the company. I barely got in. He fought like tooth and nail. And as soon as I got in the Saturday Night Live, he ripped my picture down.
The thing.
And then they made me buy tickets, so I didn't go back.
The one thing I don't agree with about Groundlings versus Second City is Second City has like a board of people that votes on who gets to perform and who gets to go to the next level. And Groundlings, people that are currently performing are voting to see if this person, this younger, cuter, funnier, possibly funnier version of them, is gonna join. And if there was someone that was
that's why I had such a tough time getting it.
But if you're
look at me,
but
it was true. This guy was jealous.
If there was someone that maybe they saw that you were a little bit similar to them, or if a guy was a straight guy, he didn't want another straight girl. If there was a pretty girl in there, she didn't. If there was a fat girl, she didn't want a new fat girl in, because they knew that there's only so many spots that you'd be cast. And I just thought, this is so bizarre. Like, they'll never change it, but
no,
it takes very big people to not be jealous like that at that level. You just are. A lot of people are.
Well, you were in it 10 years after me, and we had the same problems.
Yeah.
Then, because everything you said, that guy was, and I find out, I said, "What's the problem?" They go, "He's jealous." He just. Basically, and
like the worst thing that someone could say is, "You remind me of someone who's currently in the main company." Like, and then I remember we'd have to go go to, like, then the main company show would go and all the Sunday people would go, and I would stay after, and I'd give really specific compliments, kissing their butt, hoping that they'll vote me in so that I didn't have to leave. Then I did something backstage, and I the only time I've ever gotten stitches, and I cut my leg, and I put a Band-Aid, I held it so that I could do the sketch. And then I said, okay, I think I need to go to the emergency room. I got stitches, and I was so afraid that somehow me, like, asking if I could have, like, $300 for the emergency room was going to, like, somehow get back, like, I'm a diva, or, like, they're not going to choose me. It was just, I mean, I loved it. It was great.
Well, who were some of the people in your group that went on and did well?
Cheryl Hines, Chris Purnell, Anna Gasteyer.
You were in the Sunday
Alex
company
Cat
with them?
Horner. They were all in Sunday companies at one point, like, all together, you know. And they were all great and, like, super fun, and, you know, it was a successful time. And then I got some people like Mike Schwartz. He's just went on to be, like, a really successful writer of Scrubs. And other people, you know, I still see, like, doing stuff and doing commercials or
Don't
whatever.
you think being the Groundlings, it helped you learn how to write?
It was awesome. I tell
It did me,
everybody to do it. And also because I'm like, you know, do it. Take the first level. The first level, you can show up on a Wednesday. You don't have to prepare. You just perform, and then you get used to it. And it really does. It does help you to write and help you find characters. And
Did it help you as to write your books, you think?
I mean, that was so long ago. Well, I'm really good at, like, imitating people and remembering dialogue for, like, verbatim. So I would, like, write sketches that just happened between a friend and myself, and I would just be my friend. And they would be like, Heather doesn't even write sketches. She just basically remembers something that happened on a date. And I didn't really learn how to go to, like, this crazy extra level. I would just kind of see the reality of what was funny. And then that was one of the things that they said that they liked about me, that when they were moving on to another level, they were like, oh, the people, they like that you aren't doing these big characters with big wigs and hello. And, you know, I was just doing, like, a version of a friend of me that's different than me, but she's not me, you know.
I remember you said Lisa Kudrow was your teacher.
Yes, I loved Lisa.
And then, you know, I grew up in the Valley in Tarzana, Encino and Tarzana. But anyway, I met my friend David in 6th grade. And we became best friends. And he'd go to his house. He goes, you have to meet my little sister, Lisa. And she was, I think, 5 years old and really cute. So, you know, so I've known her since she's 5. She's like my little sister. I was there all the time. And then when I was like I was in college and she was 14, and she started asking me about acting because I was a drama major. Yeah. And then we would talk about it, and I got her this book called Audition by Michael Shirtleff, and I wrote To My Fellow Thespian, Good Luck. And then she went on, she's really smart, and she went to Vassar, and then she was working for her father as a doctor, and she was going to be I don't know what she's going to be, a biologist or a doctor and something. And so then she was in New York. She goes, oh, John, I came up with some characters. And then, but actually, when I got Saturday Night Live, so then she called me. She said, hey, I want to try acting, you know, and what should I do? So I told her to go to the Groundlings. Yeah. And then I go, listen, if anybody messes with you there, let me know. I'll kill him. Because it's very political. But and then one thing I did say to her was, listen, when you do your characters, I go, a lot of the people there mug. I go, don't mug. Mugging is making big faces, and there's no thought behind it. And you can make faces. You can do whatever you want. But if there's no, like, thought of why you're reacting that way, and emotion, it just comes off as, like, it just comes off fake. So I said, you know, don't let them turn you into mugging. Play it real. Yeah. Because that's the style of acting that you're going to get hired for, is playing it real. So she was your teacher. Did she ever say that, or did anyone?
The best part I have of Lisa being my teacher is that, so it was level 2, and we were doing.
Wait, so level 1's people don't know the basic.
Basic, where you just
improv
play the game.
Roles and
Intermediate, you actually start to learn how to do, like, character monologues, and so we were doing some exercise, and there was this. I had gone to USC, and there was some guy there that had also gone to USC, and I was like, oh my God, you went to SC, so did I. And he goes, you're the kind of girl that I hated there. And I was like, all right. He was like just a nerd, annoying person. So I'm like, all right, fine. That was fine. This was why it was satisfying. So then we're doing an exercise, and he's like, I have to go to the bathroom, Lisa. And she's like, well, just wait. We're going to be done in a second. So then he gets up to do the improv, and then he's like, and I have to go to the bathroom. And then he runs out. to go to the bathroom, and she just locked the door, and we continued the class, and he never returned. And I was like, good. Because the guy, she probably knew, like, I'm doing you a favor. Like, you're not going to ever make it in this thing. You're not funny, and now you're annoying and rude. So let me just do you a favor.
She locked the door to the room?
She locked the door to the room. Like, don't try to come back after the bathroom. I mean, but I would have thought he would have come back the next week or...
Did he knock on the door or anything?
No. He just never, ever showed his face again. No.
Do you think he even tried it?
He didn't. Because I kept thinking, oh, my God, we kind of were like, yay, and we did our thing. And then he was just probably so humiliated, like, I can't even go back.
Well, wait, so so after the Sunday company... 2 years. What'd you do? You didn't get in, they kicked you out.
Actually, the Monday after my final Sunday show, that Monday I started as a writer on the Keenan Ivory Wayne's late night talk show. It was my first writing job. I was 27, Writers Guild.
Oh, so you were working. That's great.
So I think that was another reason why maybe they didn't feel bad about letting me go. They're like, this girl has a job at least. So then they voted on me that Monday night, and the Tuesday of my second day at work, I got the call that I'm no longer doing the Groundlings. So I was like sad for a second. But then I was like, you know what? I'm the kind of person, like, I get really involved. Like, I was really into my high school. I was really into my sorority. I'm like, if I would have stayed at Groundlings, I would have been that woman that's, like, teaching the classes, sleeping with the student, being jealous that someone's getting auditioned that I'm not. You know the type.
Well, you finally said something inappropriate.
And I was like, I think it's good that it was cut off, and I couldn't, like, again, it's a 99
well, when you say
person
sleeping,
theater. Like, when you're in it, you think, my God, I can't believe I only have 3 sketches in the entire show. I'm barely in the show. And then, like, after you really realize, like, it is 99
it sounds like
people,
SNL.
And it's, it's a small world, but it feels so big, and it's so incestual.
No, when I was there, it was my whole life.
It's your whole life. It's your social life.
It was
it's your friends. It's your work. It's everything. And so, and also at that time, I was doing stand-up as well, but it was right before alternative stand-up got in, and so they looked really down on me that I had spots at the Improv. They were like, I'd be like, hey, you guys, anyone want to come to the Improv Tuesday? I can put you on the list. Everybody's spot.
Oh, the alternative comedy?
No, they had, no, it was just like, at this time, like,
no, I'm saying they looked down on you?
They looked down on me for being like a normal stand-up that, like, told jokes at the
Improv.
Right,
I know.
So it was like, oh, Heather, she does,
we'll talk about that alternative comedy when we get right back, because I have a bone to pick with that. I'm John Lovitz. This is Heather McDonald. We'll be right back on Lovitz or Leavitz on the John Lovitz Vodcast Network. Hi, John Lovitz here. It's time to put laughter back into your life. Check out the John Lovitz Comedy Club, located in the heart of Universal Studios City Walk, Los Angeles, not Orlando. For tickets, go to thejohnlovitzcomedyclub.com. Hello, I'm John Lovitz, and it's summer. Don't be stuck in your office all day. Get started with a free 30-day trial of eVoice. eVoice gives you a toll-free or local number, so you can take business calls from anywhere and always sound like you're at the office. Also, eVoice has great features like dial by name directory, and it even transcribes your voicemails so you can read them at your convenience. Go to evoice.com and enter promo code LOVITZ for your 30-day free trial. That's evoice.com, promo code LOVITZ, that's spelled L-O-V-I-T-Z. Or go to the johnlovitzvodcastnetwork.com and click the eVoice banner. I'm John Lovitz, and welcome back to Lovitz or Leavitz with my special guest, Heather McDonald from Chelsea Lately and After Lately. Well, I have to do a little talk about one of our sponsors. You know, Heather, everyone knows, you know how hard it is to start a business, right?
Yes.
Well, that's why I want you and everyone else, you go to LegalZoom.com, and they've created a convenient way to get your business off the ground while you save a ton of time and a ton of money. If I actually did use LegalZoom.com.
I used it too. It's very good.
You have?
Yeah.
It's good. It's online. You go to LegalZoom.com. If you go right now and you can create a corporation or LLC.
We have an LLC,
you
not
do?
to brag. Yeah.
Well, a lawyer, you'd pay $1,000. I think on LegalZoom.com it's $99. You just have to answer these very simple questions online. And most people go through the whole questionnaire in minutes. Now, you must pay attention to this. LegalZoom, excuse me, LegalZoom is not a law firm, but it's a step-by-step process. And it was created by a team of top attorneys and experts in technology to provide self-help service at your specific directions. And you can also create a will or a living trust.
Do you know how many people don't have a will? Crazy.
I know.
Go on there and get a will.
You have one?
Yes.
All right. Well, you let me read the rest of this. You can also create a will, a living trust, name change, as well as a DBA. Do you know what DBA is?
Deathbed approval to be killed if you're really sick and you don't want to be a vegetable.
That is so inappropriate. Heather McDonald, My Inappropriate Life, proving it right there. No, DBA is doing business as.
Oh, okay.
Or trademarks or patents and more. So launch your dream business right now at LegalZoom.com. And don't forget Heather McDonald, who wrote My Inappropriate Life. You get an extra discount when you type my name, Lovitz, in the referral box at checkout. That's right. Save more by typing my name, Lovitz. That's Lovitz, in the referral box at checkout. LegalZoom.com. And the promo code is Lovitz. And now we're back with Heather McDonald. By the way, we went into talking about alternative comedy.
Yes.
You know, this is what I remember hearing about that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what they did at some Cafe Largo.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like it was,
And people would stand up and just talk.
and they would. Well, it was just kind of like they would. It started with, hey, let's get some comedians around that will promise to do material they've never done before. So bring a story that happened to you that day. You can bring notes up and do it. And it was cool. It was a fun thing, but I just didn't like that. It's still comedy, and it became this weird thing. Like if you're not in the alternatives, it was like all these geeks got together, and now they were the popular kids, and me, who should have been popular, couldn't get in because I wasn't seen
I would
as
always hear
alternative.
about alternative comedy. They go, it's alternative comedy. And I go, oh, in other words, it's not funny. They go, oh, we don't do jokes in alternative comedy. I go, well, then how are you doing comedy? You know, there's not one way to do a joke. Even if you tell a story, there's a setup and a punchline. I don't care if you're just telling a story.
Right.
And that, you know, it could be, doesn't have to bash you over the head with it.
No, but
But I remember they were doing stuff, and I go, so they just would talk. And it was like not funny. So I go, how is that comedy? Is if you get laughs.
Sometimes it could be funny, but the difference is that they had it was fun for them because it was a safe haven. The people that were there got them, knew who they were. Everyone was friends. It was funny. Okay, I don't find that brave. What's brave is doing a stand-up act for a bunch of strangers in the middle of America that don't know who you are. If you make those people laugh, I think that's real comedy because you've got to set it up, you got to make them like you got to actually give them a story that they can relate to that isn't so inside. You know, the other thing would always bother me is, remember the WB, like all this we're on the WB, the channel WB, and had all those really bad sitcoms?
Yeah.
Well, they'd all bag on those because at that time, like every comedian was getting their own sitcom, so they'd all like bag on it, rip on it, like you're such a sellout, and tell their story about a horrible meeting they had with a WB executive, and you know, and then
they couldn't get hired.
Then the next week I'd watch it, and they were doing a guest spot, and I'm like, listen, hypocrite, like, don't poo on it when you just took a job where you played a very hacky role in a live audience traditional sitcom that isn't funny. Like, just accept that that's what you're doing. What? Do you agree or don't agree?
Well, I do, but it isn't funny. It's like you're judge, jury, and executioner.
I just don't like.
When did you start doing stand-up?
I don't like haters.
I did straight acting and the Groundlings and Saturday Night Live and all that, and movies. And then I started doing stand-up like 10 years ago. Did you do it like that too, or did you start as a stand-up?
I started doing stand-up like the same time I started Groundlings. And I just did both all the way through. And I like had an act and I had the stand-up stuff.
Oh, good for you.
And I always liked the stand-up because you didn't have to depend on lighting or for other people or whatever to show that you were funny. It was like, it's the perfect showcase if you are trying to find an agent or, you know, whatever. And nowadays, it's like so much easier because remember how hard it would be to get tape on yourself Like such a process. Oh, I got to hire someone to come. And now it's like someone can just take you with the iPhone, which also can be bad because you shouldn't be seen until you're good, which nobody can believe. I remember like I took my little stand-up class. I'd had a really good
Who taught
performance. It was Judy.
Judy Carter?
No, it was Judy.
Oh.
It was Judy something else. It wasn't Judy Carter. It was like one
Did
that
you
was
know
not
Judy
as good.
Carter?
No, but I read her book. I'd read her
About
book.
stand-up?
Yeah.
She wrote a book about stand-up.
Yeah.
She's a very famous teacher. Judy Carter, she's known for that, being a stand-up teacher and workshops, but she was actually my drama teacher in high school.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that funny?
I mean, I think there's sometimes people bag on classes. Oh, you can't learn. Yeah, you can. You can learn the setup. It's a safe environment to try to do
But you can
it.
learn if the teacher,
You can
she's
learn.
very good.
No, but
if,
you
if
have to be
she knows what she's
inherently
talking
funny.
about.
Like if you've never made a room laugh, if no one's, you know when you're funny. I knew I was funny. You knew you're funny. You knew you made your friends laugh. Some people go into stand-up and they've never made anyone chuckle. They just love stand-up, and then they think that they can take a class and do it. Well, good luck.
No.
But if you have a sense that's funny,
But they might have
help
a sense
setting
of
it
humor,
up.
right? They could have a sense of
I think
humor
if
and
you've
develop
never
it.
told a story that's made anyone laugh, I don't think you should pursue stand-up in any way.
People always ask me, oh, by the way, that of course, what she just said was a direct comment to Mark Short, who's my partner in this club and this vodcast, and who's listening right now.
A direct comment about what?
About he should not do stand-up.
Oh.
You said if you've never told a funny story and have no sense of humor.
You can have a sense of humor. You can know what funny is, but if you yourself
Just because you laugh at something doesn't mean.
if you've never done great at a cocktail party, or a lunch, making people laugh, I don't think.
But
you
can be funny, and then when you get up doing stand-up.
Oh, of course you can be bomb, but
Bomb,
I'm saying,
I mean,
of course 99% of the people do, but I'm saying don't be pursuing it if you really.
I remember I was on set.
You should only do it if hundreds of people in your life have told you should do stand-up. Like, so many people told me since I was like 10, I was funny and I should do stand-up. I shouldn't even go to college. I should do and I was like, how are
Yeah, but you
got to
try it. I mean, I know so many people that they go, oh, everyone says I'm funny. And I'm just thinking, God, you're not.
Exactly.
And so you never know. I just think if you want, you could try it.
You should try it. Tell people take a class.
If you want to try it.
Try it. And I say a class because if you take a class, you follow everything they say, it usually ends with like a little recital performance, and you are kind of forced to have to get up there and do 6 minutes of something. And you may never, it's such an easy way to procrastinate not to ever do it. And if it's like one of your bucket list things or you really want to pursue it, it'll give you a deadline to actually go, okay, on September 7th, I've invited 10 of my friends to come see me perform. I have to do it. And you'll do it. And if you have a good experience, then hopefully you can keep going.
Well, I remember I got Saturday Night Live and became friends with Dennis Miller. He's a great stand-up. He goes, John, I think you could be a stand-up. Because you wouldn't be funny like me, but there's this guy, Kevin Meaney, that's really funny. But he goes, if you saw him, you'd see what I mean. And Kevin's hilarious and silly, and that's more, I like silly humor. Yeah. So we'd go to Catch a Rising Star in New York. I'd go with Dennis, and he go, all right, you can get up. So he goes, John wants to get up. So they go, all right, John Lovitz. And I was on Saturday Night Live then. My character was popular.
Yeah.
So they were like, yay, they'd go cried, applaud. I didn't know what I was doing. 5 minutes later, they go, John Lovitz. It was like, just bombed. I mean, so I was really funny, but stand-up is.
Well, I don't think you can go up there without.
You got to know what you're doing,
but
and
I think you got to
it takes
have
a
an
long
act.
time.
Like you can't just go up
Yeah, but you
there.
have to develop an act. You can't just
I'm
have one off the bat.
No, I'm saying develop the act. You can't just go up there.
I'm saying yes.
And just
I'm agreeing with you.
Yes, and not just perform.
Now, people always ask me, let me ask you this. They always said, which do you enjoy more? Which is harder, sketch comedy or stand-up? How do you feel about that?
Sketch comedy, well, we do a lot of sketches on Chelsea, and I write and perform in them. And they're really fun to do, and we write them together, so it's like very collaborative. And so that's fun. The stand-up, it's like stand-up, I sometimes kind of like dread it. Like, let's say I'm doing a weekend, and I'm working all week, and I'm like, oh my God, why did I agree to do this club? And it's like almost
for
like
the
working
money.
out. Exactly. It's almost like working out. But once I'm doing it, I have such a good time, and I'm so happy I did it.
Once you get up there,
and then
fun,
like
right?
by the end of the weekend, I've come up with like at least 10 new minutes of material, and I feel like accomplished. I feel like I've and so I'm like, God, I really do love it. But then when more time passed,
Well,
when
it's
you're
just
not
that
doing it, you
anxiety
start
of
to-
getting up on
yeah.
stage
I
by
still
yourself.
Get nervous. I still get nervous, and like
I do, but it's because you care.
Yeah.
I don't get as, but
No,
if
no.
when I think about it, I'm
like
like,
I used to
ugh.
not be able to have dinner before and all that. Now I can totally eat. I never drink before I perform, but like I'll eat. I'll be relaxed.
Do you drink after?
I like to have like a glass of wine or one drink just to like reward myself.
Ah,
But
so
I like
you're
to
an
like
alcoholic.
Yes. But if I'm on the road away from my kids, I really want to like sleep really late the next day. And if I drink too much, I won't sleep well. So I more like want to get home.
Did you ever perform drunk?
Never. Never even buzzed. Because if I'm buzzed, it'll make me tired.
On heroin, did you ever perform a stand-up on heroin?
No, but I've always wanted to try heroin.
I used to shoot heroin in my eye.
I didn't know you could do it there, so they couldn't see the track part.
Yes. I don't know why.
Whenever there'd be like movies
think
about
that's funny.
heroin, I could never see that. I would be so grossed out by those scenes, biting the rubber.
Yeah.
And then the girl's arm.
Well,
has
that's
too
why I
many
did it in the
marks.
eye because I wasn't coordinated enough to tie it and then hold it. And I couldn't do it, so it was just boom, and then it goes right to the brain.
Yeah.
And I did it for about 40 years.
Well, you know what? It preserves the body, and you look amazing. That's a secret a lot of people don't know about heroin. It actually makes you
82.
look good. You're very glowy. Your
Heroin
skin
and
looks amazing.
moisturizer. Might want to look into it. No, I never done any drugs. I can't stand watching comics on stage and they're drunk. I just think it's.
Well, it's like
I don't-
rude, Oh,
Yeah.
the other thing I really hate is when it's a small crowd and a comic gets up and is like, oh, well, this is great. And they like rip on the crowd. It's like, hey, at least they came out to see you. Now don't make them feel like losers for coming. Like, still give them a great show. I don't like that either.
Well, when we come back, I would like to. I know you also do impressions. I want to hear some of your impressions you do,
Okay.
if you don't mind, because I always find those very entertaining. And also just talk to you about your other book you wrote. What is it called?
You'll never blue ball in this town again.
You'll never blue ball in this town again. I'm John Lovitz on the John Lovitz Vodcast Network with Lovitz or Leavitz. We'll be right back. Hi, John Lovitz here. It's time to put laughter back into your life. Check out the John Lovitz Comedy Club, located in the heart of Universal Studios City Walk, Los Angeles, not Orlando. For tickets, go to thejohnlovitzcomedyclub.com. And we're back on the John Lovitz Vodcast Network on Lovitz or Leavitz with Heather McDonald. Heather, you're on the show Chelsea lately, and
Yes.
when is that on every night?
It's on every night, every weeknight at 11 on E, and then several repeats throughout the week.
But how many shows a week do you do?
We tape 4 a week. We tape.
Wow, that's
we
a
just
lot.
don't tape on Fridays. So the repeat, there's one of the shows earlier in the week. We'll pick one for Friday.
Now, I actually met Chelsea Handler. I didn't know who she was. This was like maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I saw that she was a stand-up, and I saw this, and she'd written these books, but I'd never heard of her. So I think it was on MySpace. I wrote her and I said, "Hey, I'm John Lovitz. What do you do?" And she wrote me back. I said, "Well, I do a show at the Laugh Factory. Would you like to do it?" She goes, "Sure." So she was doing it, and Joe Coy, the comic, was already there. He was doing it. That's how they actually met at a Wednesday night show at the Laugh Factory. But I liked her a lot. But I haven't been on that show. I can't get on it, Chelsea. So, but she's really nice. But what do you think are some of the, let's say, without getting into her personal life, because I don't believe in doing that. But what would you say are some of misconceptions people might have about her that are not true, that you know, or that working with her so
I think that
intimately?
I think people
every
think
week?
that she's like this wild partier, drinking girl that's like irresponsible, and she's so far from that. She's very prompt. Like, we're the one show that will go probably early every day by like 5 or 10 minutes. She's ready to go. And
She's very disciplined.
very disciplined when it comes to work. I mean, just the fact of writing books is like the hardest thing in the world. And, she's managed to write. She's actually writing her 5th right now. And she's, a really smart businesswoman, but she's also really fun and she's created a really fun environment. We're all really good friends, all the writers. We have a great time. But it's not, we never drink before taping. Lots of times people think, oh, you were drunk on the round table. I'm like, no, that's never, ever happened. So that's probably the biggest misconception.
What's Chewy like?
Chewy is a really nice, simple guy. He is just, we found him.
What do you mean simple?
He's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
You're saying he has special needs?
He's not, well, he's special needs as far as handicapped. I mean, he's a little.
How tall is he?
He's a, official little person. So he's like 4 something.
He's 4 feet tall?
He's like 4'6", I think.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot taller than he looks.
Maybe he's 4'4". I don't know. He's not. He's sober. He's been sober like 15 years.
Wait a minute. So Chewy was like a raging partier.
He loved cocaine. He was a drug trafficker, and he was, I swear to God.
Does he talk about it?
He would tell, yes, I'm not telling anything that, like, he told me once, he goes, I just loved cocaine. I loved it. And he would do cocaine, and he was also I didn't even know what this was. He told me he was a coyote, which means you, like, smuggle illegal immigrants.
He was?
In, like, the back of your car.
Now, let me ask you this question, and you don't have...
So he's very much, obviously, cleaned up his act. He doesn't drink, he doesn't do anything.
You don't have to answer this, but I just have to ask it, and you could say, John, how many times do you think Chelsea and Chewy have slept together?
Never.
I'm going to ask you again, I'd like an answer.
Never,
How
ever.
many times?
We kind of joke because we write jokes about them being lovers. We joke about him being her son. And so then some mornings we're like, all right, is Chewy her son or her lover? What sick relationship are we going to like write a cold open about today? It's just a weird thing.
You say never, but I would lay money that she was like, all right, come on.
Never.
Hurry up and get over with.
Never, ever.
I think after a show,
Never,
she's
never,
in a dressing
ever.
room drunk. Well,
never. But
Chelsea,
that's okay.
that's my guess.
If you want to think it, that's fine. Never, ever.
Now, what are some of the impressions? You do impressions in your comedy stand-up act?
What's interesting, because we were talking about the Groundlings, is, you never did impressions at the Groundlings. And I never tried to do impressions for anything. And when I even think, I did a sketch show on MTV called The Lyricist Lounge, and I never did impressions then. I would just do characters because I was writing on the show,
But you do them now?
Yeah, and what happened is literally, like, maybe 6 years ago, I was telling a story about Drew Barrymore, and I did Drew Barrymore. And then when
Let's see it.
Okay, well, first of all, it's amazing that you have a Vodcast. And I used to watch you and love you and think that you're so special and think that the world brought you to make people laugh, which is amazing because I'm a huge dork and I want to make people laugh, but I'm not that funny. But now I'm a mother, and I had this baby, and it's a miracle. Like, she's just extremely positive. So I just...
That's
so then
very
I was
good.
like, oh, I can do Drew Barrymore. And then, like...
I like Drew.
And then when I
worked with
started
her.
working on Chelsea, like, I talked about Celine Dion. I'm like, she's so annoying. I just saw it on interview.
Oh, you could kind of look like her. Like,
yeah, I totally look like people
Yeah,
like
I didn't-
every day. Well, like,
Yeah,
the thing
that's
about
noticed what you
Celine
said.
is that, like, I'd seen her on an interview, and I was like, she's just kind of like a geeky person, Like, she thinks...
Let's see it.
She's like, oh, well, we bought a puppy. We did. And my son, he likes the puppy. Like, she's just geeky. She's like, I just gave birth to twins. And when they graduate from high school, my husband, Renee, will be 103. Because that's the way it is. Woo! And then, like, I went to go see her at Caesars, and she's, like, in between. She, again, trying to be funny. She's like, so now I have 3 boys. Actually, 4. Oh, shut up. Like, big old fat Renee is like her 4th kid. It's like, we all remember you were dating him when he was like 50 and you were 12. It's just kind of like, we all say no one wants to talk about that,
Did you ever date Renee?
No, but I mean, God, I probably would have if you could make me a big singer.
Did you ever sleep with Chewy?
I've never slept with Chewy, kissed
But have you
him.
ever thought about it?
The worst thing that happened with Chewy and me is that we did something where, like, Chelsea's like, they're like, we're doing the whole cold open. At the end of the cold, we couldn't think of an end of, like, the monologue. So it was going to be, I was going to come out, and Chelsea was just going to order Chewy to hit me. And we did that. It was, like, so wrong on so many levels.
Hit on you or hit you?
hit me.
Oh, like slap you?
Yeah, and we didn't practice it or anything. And I am proud to say I've actually never been hit by a girl or a man or a parent in my life. I've never, this was the only time on camera in my life that anyone's ever hit me. And it was freaking hard. This wasn't the first time Chewy's hit a bitch, sadly.
And what'd you do? Did you hit him back?
Like, I was just so shocked. I was like, and then it was like, then I walked up and all the other writers were like, wow. They were like really, and then, you know when you're a guy, so it probably doesn't happen. But when you're a woman.
You and Chelsea and Chewy had a three-way?
No, but when you're but when you're a woman and you're like, it's like the kind of thing where someone's like, are you okay? And you are okay until you feel like someone cares about you. And then you're like.
Then you start crying.
So then, like, everybody's like looking and like.
How hard could he hit?
It was so fucking hard. It was like.
Did he jump?
No, I had to come down, and then she told him to hit. Like, everything about it was wrong. And we were all like, yeah, that was wrong. I'm like,
Did it get a big laugh?
I'm like, I guess we've done 1,000 shows. Like, you run out of shit to do. But, like, I don't know. I think the audience was disturbed, too.
Did it get a big laugh?
I don't remember. I mean, I really don't remember. Like, stars were, like, spinning. And then I came up, and everyone was, like, really disturbed by it. And they were like, that was awful.
And then you and he started.
Our executive producer was like, are you okay? You know, I think he kind of felt bad. I agreed to do it. I just didn't think that he would. But
then did he say he was sorry and then you two had like a secret affair?
We didn't have a secret affair, but I think he did feel badly after. But I mean, you do what you're told, you know? It's a TV show and you're making good money.
You're loyal to your husband. So you never thought about you and Chewy?
Never, ever.
What a liar. Well, it's been a delight to meet you, Heather. And here's her new book again. It's called My Inappropriate Life.
And it's available everywhere. Amazon.com, audio version at Amazon and Audible.com.
How long has it been
Barnes
out?
and Noble. It came out middle of February. So it's been out a few months
Well, isn't that a thrill to have a book in like Barnes and Noble?
It is.
Yeah,
It
right?
is. Like, I go to that Barnes and Noble in Calabasas because so many bookstores have closed. That's like the closest one to me. And I go by and I make if it's like this, like 4 of them like this, then I take one and I scoot it, so it's like that. It takes up a little more room, and you know that's
fantastic. On the back it says, "As a mom who has been accused of being inappropriate, I just want to say I'm nothing compared to Heather, Kris Jenner."
Because she's my friend.
Well, that's nice. Well, congratulations on everything, and we will look forward to seeing Heather McDonald on Chelsea Lately and After Lately and all your books. Well, your stand-up. What don't you do?
I don't know. How do I
Apparently,
do it all?
she doesn't do Chewy. I'm John Lovitz on Lovitz or Leavitz on the John Lovitz Vodcast Network. See you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Now that the show is over, don't forget to sign up for your free trial of Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus lets you binge on thousands of hit shows, anytime, anywhere, on your TV, PC, smartphone, or tablet. Support this podcast and get an extended free trial of Hulu Plus when you go to huluplus.com/John. That's huluplus.com/JON. Or click the Hulu Plus banner on John Lovett's VodcastNetwork.com. Also, don't forget to go to LegalZoom.com today and get 15% off your last will through the end of August. Or get a living trust, and you'll receive a pour-over will absolutely free. LegalZoom is not a law firm, but its step-by-step process was created by a team of top attorneys and experts in technology to provide self-help services at your specific direction. Get an extra discount when you type LOVITZ. That's Lovitz in the referral box at checkout. LegalZoom.com. Hello, I'm John Lovitz, and it's summer. Don't be stuck in your office all day. Get started with a free 30-day trial of eVoice. eVoice gives you a toll-free or local number, so you can take business calls from anywhere and always sound like you're at the office. Also, eVoice has great features like dial by name directory, and it even transcribes your voicemails so you can read them at your convenience. So now that the show is over, go to evoice.com and enter promo code Lovitz for your 30-day free trial. That's evoice.com, promo code Lovitz, that's spelled Lovitz, or go to the John Lovitz Vodcast Network.com and click the eVoice banner.